Hello, Disc Golf World. My name is Kevin Jones, and we are here. You guys have joined us for the back nine of round one of the... What tournament is it, Luke?
This is the Rumble at the Ridge, presented by Prodigy. We are here in Greenbrier, Arkansas, at Persimmon Ridge Resort. We have you, Emerson, Gregg Barsby, and Nikko Locastro heading to one of my favorite back nines on the planet.
Yeah, it's so much fun out here at this resort.
These guys are going to get to air out some shots, really go for some holes. There's going to be some water carries. There's also going to be a hard hole 18 to decide how you finish your round. But it starts with a pretty easy hole 10.
That's right. We've got OB on our left side and our right side, so it's important to keep your disc really straight, but you've also got a ceiling on the first part of the flight and the end part of the flight, so
you
have to keep your disc low pretty much the whole time.
Yes, you do. Entry to the green must be low. If not, you're dropped outside circle, left with kind of an obscured putt. You've got a tree in your way. Looks like Nico's going fairway driver. Played a practice round with him. He was like in the force over, just like he's famous for. Seems like he got it a little high, a little right. A slight uphill run up plus the natural tee pad could have got him. What are you going with?
Well, I've actually changed my play on this hole quite often. Looks like I'm going with an M2 here.
Okay. And
catching the late part of the ceiling, which is just going to make you have a circle's edge putt.
Yeah, just like we talked about. Gregg flicking an eagle, flipping it up, doing it perfectly. Man, Gregg would love to have a putt back on this green from 2 days earlier. Don't know if you've had time to see the skins match yet. If you haven't, definitely check that out. But, man.
Emerson catching the early part of the ceiling there.
Left flicking that Lucid X, Opto X Justice of his, whichever one that is. Just a really stiff, great, durable plastic. Great shot for him. Little spinner out of Nikko. And you left with that obscured tree putt straddle. Not. But plenty of want. What were you thinking?
Almost enough want for the make, but I was square behind the tree and couldn't find the straddle to make it. Gregg is going to execute the birdie here, though.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the lone birdie, is that right?
Yeah, it is, and kind of interesting, It's one of the easier holes. Kind of, if there had to be a filler, because I feel like there are filler holes on every course, this would be our filler. Little OB, though, so it can be tricky at times.
Right. I love the low ceiling aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Hole 11, though, is a really nice hole. You're going downhill. It's 635 feet, but nobody's going to get there on their first shot, I'd say. You have two options, right, Luke?
Yeah. You're either going up the middle, forehand, or lefty backhand, or you're going righty spike hyzer, which leaves you probably about 325 into the green. You're just deciding to cut it in half, essentially. And it's and I'd say the play. Looks like Gregg's opting for that. Even with his great forehand, he just doesn't want to mess with that tunnel.
That says something about the hole.
Yeah, he's respecting it, playing golf, cutting it in half, and that's exactly what we're talking about. He should have about 3 1/4 from there. Nikko likes what he sees. Looking to line it up himself. Really high, maybe flirting with the sidewalk. Yeah, that's probably just lack of experience on the course there.
It could be.
Yeah, right is definitely dead, so he didn't want to go there, and I think the right to left wind may have just pushed him more than he wanted. You're lining up the forehand, as you've done in rounds past, and lace it. Cat D1, stroke down the fairway, and you've got less than 300 in for sure now.
Yep, I just love the forehand. It always seems to put me in a scoreable position.
Yeah. You have a definite advantage after taking that risky tee shot. You're rewarded for it. Emerson, that's basically about where the backhands land. I don't know if the risk paid off, but it worked out well for him. Gregg
was leaning into this one.
Yeah, that's a Firebird out of him, I think. Could have been the Scorpius, actually. You know, he was a little far back. Great shot from him. You don't want to be long on this green. That's the main concern. And you don't want to be where Nikko's headed.
Right.
Okay, stop short of it, but, you know, right short of the green is just...
Yeah, it gets hairy right there.
Completely dead. It's as bad as left long. Emerson hanging it out. Stays out of it, it looks like. He'll be rewarded with inside the circle putt. I mean, distance control perfect there. He's got Chris Zagone on the bag, one of his good friends and teammates over at Westside. Is that A2 out of you?
That's the stable A2 right there, and that's a sweet spot of the green.
Yeah, it is. Right. Once you get pin high, you can be a little bit right there. That's the safest spot to be. Nikko,
Emerson.
outside the circle bid. Tough one to run. It might as well be water behind that green. There's almost no putts to be had. It rolls down. It's bad.
Yeah, it drops down real quick, and then you're faced with all the shrubbage in your face.
Yeah, and Emerson in one of those situations in sports where it helps to be short. I don't think there's tons of them. This is definitely one of them.
Right.
Just standing there.
Good putt from Emerson there.
Yeah.
That's a birdie for him as well. Well played.
Yeah. Yeah, getting back on the train. You are looking to convert on your birdie as well. Played the hole perfectly. Yep. Rewarded for your risk off the tee. Easy approach. Well done from you.
That is how I draw it up.
Gregg looking to follow suit.
Little chip shot.
Putting with KC Pro Aviers. Puts it in there. Nikko unfortunately tapping out for his bogey after going out of bounds off the tee. Coming to hole 12, Kev. What are you throwing here?
Hole 12, if there's no headwind, I really like to try to go over the top with a grenade, just because this skinny tree on the left side is in such a good strategic spot.
It's in a perfect spot for sure. You'll see most guys go righty forehand, lefty backhand out that left side. Some guys like the low ceiling right gap, though, just a straight backhand. Looks like Gregg is opting for that forehand with his double destroyer stamped Firebird, Glow Firebird. And caught a little tree kick, but he is fine. That's perfect.
Yeah, there's not too much of a ceiling to worry about.
Now you could see that was testing it, but that was plenty high. You are also, looks like, opting for a D1 forehand.
I like this outside line.
Okay. Real stable.
Right, really stable. I kind of used the tee pad to make the gap as big as possible, but I did it well there, and I'm going to be inside the circle, well inside the circle.
Yeah, for sure. Great shot. Emerson. Going middle gap. I think that's mostly the preferred gap.
Usually, yeah.
It takes a little more power to go outside gap with a stable frisbee like you're doing, but might see Nikko do it as well. And you guys have played this hole pretty easily. For the future, we're thinking about putting this one back just to test players' distance a little more.
I like the idea a lot.
Yeah, we're still finalizing the gold layout, as I mentioned, but hope to have it out soon. Looks like you guys are gonna all-star this one, barring any crazy mistakes. Nikko looking styly. We haven't mentioned that yet. Those pants are loud, per the usual. Going with a hat, also loud, per the usual.
Did you say loud?
Yeah.
Nice. I agree.
Yeah, they're loud. What do you think about this 13th, Kev?
I really enjoy hole 13. It gives you the option to kind of like really push the boundaries on a backhand, or maybe swing in a forehand, which I think we'll see some people do here. But the backhand settles really nicely with the way that the ground is shaped. There's a pocket short right there that we're right over right now pretty much. That's really where you want to land the disc. The closer you can get, the better, obviously, because it's on a mound, but That's the pocket.
Yep, that's the money pocket. Gregg ripping on a Scorpius. He loves that 1.9 run.
It looks awesome.
Yep, got a good reaction. Kicked it straight. He'll be inside the circle.
Yeah, you're almost always going to catch a skip on the bare ground as well.
Yeah, you're opting for that Cat D1. Laced it, dude. Your forehand is bombing nowadays, man. Fun to watch, dude.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, and you're in that money pocket you were talking about.
That's where I want to be. It's not even like extremely far uphill from there either.
Right?
It's very reasonable.
Yeah, right. And the entire hole plays a little bit downhill, so that 434, plays right around 400 probably, I think.
Yeah.
You guys are all very capable forehand players, making it look easy. It's really not that easy to forehand all the way down there. You guys are elite when it comes to that category.
Yeah, it is in the bigger forehand category.
Nico's been developing his forehand lately as well.
It looks pretty. Perfect angle. Not much of a skip because it lost all the speed by then,
Yeah.
but still well done.
Yeah.
And I'm actually FTP here.
Still inside the circle, though?
Oh, yeah. I'm only like 23 feet away from the basket. And I'm the furthest from the pin. Emerson is next up.
This basket is on a little knoll. Can come into the back of your mind while you're putting.
For sure.
Doesn't come into Emerson's. That was dead center.
Very focused putt and nice birdie.
Yep, he is golfing now. That is 3 in a row for him, getting back on the train.
Gregg with a little chip shot into the bucket. And Luke, how crazy is a star frame here if that were to happen?
Yeah, pretty rare. It's 434. It's on a knoll.
Yeah,
The winds are blowing. Back-to-back holes, you guys have star framed now.
That's such an impressive star frame.
Must have had a good mojo going on.
We did. We were for sure rolling at this point. That's bringing us to hole 14, which is 625 feet downhill for the first part of the hole into our little valley here where the drone's about to fly over. Now we are going to be in safe ground. We're going to have to go over this hill right here all the way to the basket back there. You've got the cart path staying on the left the whole time and the wood line staying on the right, causing its own danger as well with OB behind the bucket.
Yeah, Nathan Queen threw in for 2 the first day that he played it, and I was like, not cool. Got to put OB behind it. So that's what I did.
Oh, wow.
Greg
That's
ripping
insane.
on a boss, putting it on the top shelf.
Good shot.
Yeah, that's where you want to be. He'll be able to access it with a forehand. This is, man, such a fun opportunity to just air some shots out.
Yes. You can get a long ways on this shot. What I've kind of found out is that if you're safe, almost anywhere here if you're safe is scoreable. You can get up and down if you have a big flick.
Yeah, you've made it an easy par 3 if you've put yourself in play down there.
Right. That's perfect angle control from Emerson.
Yeah, ripping on a Ballista Pro, putting himself just past Gregg in optimal position.
I mean, the main thing here is get it flipped over because the most common mistake is to hyzer out left.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yep, there's just so much time for your disc to hit the ground. Nikko turns his over, but is far enough, and like you said, once you've put it in play, anywhere in play, you can access that green. Had to test that ceiling. Well done, though, really. That tree didn't take much off of it. He'll be left with, like, just outside circle's edge. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. That'll work.
And that's well done as well. Yeah, it goes uphill then back downhill. So while it looked like you threw that one low, it was perfect trajectory.
Right. It needs to come close to that hill.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's going to be really high.
Gregg using that glow Firebird.
Beautifully done. There's always some flare on this grass, too. It's so well mowed.
Mm-hmm. Downhill. Got to be careful. Emerson, Pioneer. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Yep. He's trying to make it 4 straight. And this looks to be about 45 feet from Nikko. Oh. Yeah, ready to run that one in. You, circle's edge. What commitment, man. Just zipped it out of your hand.
At this point, I was feeling really good with my circle's edge putts.
Yeah.
I was really confident with that one.
But that was beautiful. See if Gregg can follow.
Chip shot.
Yeah.
I love how he calls that because it so is. He doesn't use much arm or anything really. He's just like dropping the disc in the basket.
Yeah, and by calling it a chip shot, he's not building it up in his head. He's allowing it to be something simple and achievable. He goes out, sticks to his task, and makes it happen.
That's a great point. Simple task.
Yeah.
Here we are, hole 15, one of the trickiest birdies of the entire course because of the distance, the ceiling, the OB. There's so many factors on this hole. Luke, what's the ideal here?
I like straight up the middle, and I think that's the best play. Messing with that big tree on the right with the big hyzer is honestly playing with fire. If you throw something straight down the middle, allow yourself to hit a putt from about 25 feet left of the basket, I think that's playing the hole the safest way you can.
That's going to play, though.
I agree with you, man.
The-
Right where Gregg landed, huh?
Yeah, basically. He's a little further left, but essentially right where he's at is where you should hit your putt from. The ceiling, I think, makes it difficult because it's like 50 feet out from the basket. It's pushed past that cedar that you're going for right now, about where you're at. You're left with about, 50, 55 from there, which is where a lot of people land, and it's not a very high percentage putt. Makes it a tricky birdie, like you said. Emerson ripping on an Explorer. This is what I was talking about. Yes, right. Perfect. He didn't look at the basket. He didn't mess with the OB right. Didn't mess with the tree. And Nikko doesn't take instructions from anybody. He does Nikko stuff.
Nikko is playing with a little bit of fire on that just
gosh.
because that tree that is out of bounds is right in the way of the hyzer. But he goes long, and he honestly executes the game plan, in my opinion. He has a outside the circle putt for birdie.
Yeah, right. His game plan was executed perfectly there. Tricky low ceiling bid from you.
Yeah, it was. Have to give it a little bit extra oomph.
And Nikko has a similar bid. Low ceiling runner spinner from him. Gregg just outside circle, little jump putt. Oh, had to look good, especially with how his putt drops late right into the bucket. Emerson.
Cash.
That was the heart.
Nice birdie right there.
Yeah, that is. Picks one up on the group. Jumps to 9. That's a strong putt. I like the way you do those short putts. Firm, committed. A lot of people can learn, something to mimic for sure. That's a mere formality. Another one from Gregg. And Emerson getting the lone birdie. Headed into hole 16. Which is a shorter hole at 327, but a difficult hole with how the green falls. Right past the basket is a 20-foot hill that leads to an out of bounds. So any shot going past the bucket is really flirting with that. So you'll see a lot of people lay up short. I think spike hyzer is probably the play.
Speed control and distance is just key here.
There you go. Yeah, you said it.
I love it, honestly.
Emerson ripping on an Explorer. He loves this for any shot ranging from like 300 to 400, really. He's gotten really touchy with them. He has a bunch of them. And it's become his tool of use.
Wow. The perfect distance control.
Oh, my gosh.
And when you're not having to putt on this hole, how nice is that?
Dude, you don't have to worry. There's gray hairs that are sprouting on everybody that has to. Gregg?
Solid shot, but he's got a lot to think about from here. from here on until it's birdie.
It's one of the harder 30-footers that these guys have hit all year, and probably up there on their list of 30-footers ever.
Right. I'm actually going putter here because of the tailwind / left to right wind.
That's that 750 PA3 again?
Yep.
Man, what do you think about that 750 plastic?
I think it's nice, especially in that disc. It's keeping it nice and stable.
Yeah.
It doesn't like give in my hand whenever I'm throwing it really hard. It maintains its shape nicely. It's good.
It can handle the torque that you're putting on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nico just putting a hyzer around circle's edge, and this is just such a scary putt. If you're airballing, it's likely it's OB.
It's OB, and it's a tricky putt coming back.
And he's just caged it again.
Back to back?
No, not back to back.
2 and 3.
Yes. Still the same result.
Gregg.
That looks...
No.
Worst case scenario by
And
far.
rolls right by Gabe. Out of bounds. Floating down the river.
Gregg's at 7 under right now. Like, a really solid score.
Yeah, shooting nasty.
That was for birdie.
Yeah, would have put him to 8. Now he's trying to putt to save it. What a bid just to hit chains from there.
Yeah.
And you guys can see Gregg was basically down where that cameraman's at now. Wow, nice and direct. Yeah. The finishing holes here at Persimmon Ridge can bite you. You can attack them, you can get your birdies on all of them, but you can also get your bogeys and your doubles quick.
It's so nice. It gives some nice separation at the end of the round. And here we are looking at hole 17, 368 feet, par 3. Luke, how many feet is it to clear like the water and be safe?
335 to land inbound, so it's not unreasonable to achieve even with the headwinds. The green is 100 feet long and 40 feet wide, so there's plenty of space out there, but as you're standing there, there's way more water than there is green. And I just wanted to put that in the back of players' minds as they were standing on the tee box.
So if you throw it 335 feet, are you going to be short left?
Yeah, and it better be the perfect spot, too. At
Right.
335, there's not much room for error. Emerson.
What did he reach for there? Oh, my gosh, he almost aced it.
Yeah, that was a defender.
A
Fantastic.
defender. Into the headwind.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the harder times this hole's been played on film. I think last weekend it was a tailwind, made it a little easier. And you're ripping on a massive hyzer no matter what.
That's right.
Wind doesn't matter. Looks like you caught a little stick. Maybe gave you an extra little bounce around the tree. I don't know if that's going to affect your putt or not, but
I'll take the stick. I'll take it. Anything safe is A-okay, though. I'm
Yeah,
just happy
for
to be
sure.
putting for birdie.
basically guaranteed your 3.
Right.
This looks to be a little short.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, and it is.
That's the thing about this hole. The second it's just a tiny bit short, no way are you going to skip to be safe.
Now the best you can get is 4. And that's not even guaranteed. Gregg trusting a Scorpius out wide, trying to get some late push.
OB
Doesn't
as
get
well,
it
man.
either,
And he
so
just took a
yeah.
5 on the last hole, so
Yeah, he's giving strokes away. The drop zone here is about 265. Can't see the bucket. Must play over the water or around the sidewalk OB. Just didn't really want to give players a break as they were coming into the coming into the clubhouse. Excuse me.
I like it.
Yeah, got to finish their round strong, all the way. Firebird for Gregg, going wide left.
From the drop zone, lefty or sidearm is really, really useful.
Yeah, it's preferred, I'd say, if you've got it.
What are we looking at, like 25 feet here?
Mm-hmm. A little bit of a ceiling, maybe.
Yeah, tailwind. Short.
Slight tailwind push down, maybe.
Yeah, maybe just not committed, something like that. But
Yeah.
I guess 3 is still okay.
Yeah, it picks up mega strokes on the field. This game is the hardest hole on the course at nearly a stroke over par. So taking your 3 wasn't bad. Being as close as you were, you would have loved it too. But like we said, man, just staying in there. Still another round to play. You didn't make a big number, and there were big numbers being made on that hole.
I can't imagine the biggest number that was taken on day 1.
It was double digits.
Oh, yeah. That's
And
that.
18's not that much easier. These clouds and this drone shot are amazing. Let's just take this in, people. This is Greenbrier, Arkansas at its finest.
Let's go.
Yeah, you're enjoying it here via GK drones. And come see it for yourself. Kim and Steve Jones are awesome. They'd love to have you out. There's a spot you can rent out here. There are carts. They mow grass every day of the week that they can. It's just a beautiful piece of property with all the amenities. Really cool to see. Fun finishing hole, and it's great for the spectators. So, as you can see, we're all practicing social distancing as we watch Emerson rip on a Ballista Pro.
Not much danger on this tee shot here. The fact that he's getting some S-curve, though, is really nice and helpful.
Yeah, he's put it well up onto the top tier, and he'll be able to access a preferred forehand into that green from that distance. And Gregg dropped all the way to 4 under after the last 2 holes. Just un-Gregg-like.
He was having a really good round.
Oh, my gosh, Kevin. I mean, that disc still had 100 feet left in it. Goodness gracious. Man, just fun to watch. Wow. Oh my goodness. Spun Gabe around. That's a fantastic tee shot. Right next to the water too, making the hole as short as possible.
Yep. Getting close to the water is very helpful because you're going to make the hole shorter, but also when you get up higher on the hill, you're more downhill. So there's a kind of plus factor on either way you attack it.
Yeah, that's also true. Very good point.
That's a good looking shot. He's going to be right around circle's edge. Maybe even closer.
Yeah, that's great from back there. You are going forehand. You think this sets up better for a forehand, huh?
It looks nice for a forehand just because of the way that the ground is shaped at the basket. That's a long flick, though, and I didn't I? I
did
think
you?
I did.
I thought you did in real life. I was watching.
But you
up
were
top.
just like kind of hopeful. Like that looked like it did go right through it.
Straight up pured it, brother.
I think it did. Thank goodness, because that wooden contraption is out of bounds, and I would have been out of bounds if I had hit it.
If it dropped you down. Emerson probably looking for a little more turn on that, but he'll be right outside circle.
No.
Nikko ripping on an AT. And those things are so stable. It basically just fell out.
Yeah, big mistake though, man. This River Creek OB right here is painful.
Yeah, and it wasn't his best round ever, and that's just a little bit of a frustrating finish for him, I'm sure. Emerson looking to cap it off.
Ooh, honey, what a great putt and a great finish to round 1. 12 under par for Emerson Keith. Let's watch it again.
Sick.
Oh my gosh.
God, what a catch that was. Look at him.
Oh my goodness.
No wonder he jumped up there all
Right.
frolicky. Fantastic. That's awesome. And that's actually a new course record here at Persimmon Ridge. Little slight change from the last course, but it's basically the same course that you shot 11 on last week. So, I mean, you shot fire again today at 10, and Emerson just right there with you. Cool to see you guys battling like that.
Yeah, new course record. I mean, you got to give him credit. The course is easily a stroke at least harder than the week before.
My goodness. Dead center just jumped right out. Adding insult to injury.
Yeah.
That hurts to watch.
Disc golf is weird sometimes how when
It's
it
not
seems
fair.
like it can't get worse, it gets worse.
Yeah. 10 out of you, 12 from M. Gregg with a 4 and Nikko a 2. So it's become a little bit of a 2-horse race. We'll have Andrew Presnell and Jake Hebenheimer on the final round coverage. Love to see you guys there. And it was fun, Kev.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Luke. I won't be able to make the final round coverage, but GK Pro's been doing an incredible job with their coverage. Really hope you guys get out. Come check us out. Round 2 is going to be epic. It's going to be a battle.
Yep, enjoyed it, man. We'll do it again.
Whoa.